Hey everybody, welcome to Spindle and Spoon Homestead. I'm Aletha Shannon, and this is your place for simple living and hand spinning. Be sure to check out my channel. I've got all kinds of fiber art videos as well as gardening, recipes, Angora rabbits, all kinds of stuff. So today I did a video where I'm prepping for a live sale that I do just about every month. It's through the Wool and Fiber Arts Virtual Fiber Festival that's on Facebook. I highly recommend you join that Facebook group. It's just so amazing. It's full of lots of people who are willing to share their knowledge and just join together and enjoy fiber art together. It's so much fun. So before I can make a bat, I've got to clean off the old bat that I made previously. My drum carter's got a lot of Angora on it right now. Angora sticks to it a lot more easily than wool, so anytime I do anything with Angora, I gotta really make sure I clean off my drum carter well. And I thought today, while I kind of narrate what I'm doing in the video, I'd also share my journey or my why for my fiber arts business. So it starts in 2020. Amid all of the kind of chaos and changes that were happening that year, I discovered the beautiful and peaceful world of hand spinning. It was like a whole new dimension of creativity opened up for me. I got a drop spindle and some wool for Christmas, and I just looked up videos on YouTube and taught myself. And the minute it just like clicked for me, it was just this amazing feeling. And I'll never forget, I very quickly fell in love with the craft. I love just the way it feels to do hand spinning. I love the deep and very long history that we humans have with hand spinning. And it connects us to our ancestors because absolutely everyone has ancestors who spun in some way. It's such a fundamental part of human history and technology. I quickly got myself a spinning wheel, a used one, and then a loom, and I also got some Angora rabbits. Before I knew it, I basically had a little mini fiber farm. I did really want to have sheep, but we just don't have room for it, sadly. But the Angora rabbits they bring me a lot of joy. They're so cute and fluffy. Their fiber is so luxurious and soft, and so it's fine. So the bat that I'm making first today is I call it a pumpkin spice bat. It's a dark brown Corriedale wool that has a nice long staple length, and it's really soft. It's a really nice fleece that I got from someone who got it from a farm in Missouri. And it's such a rich color too. So my first step is to card all of this black wool that I'm going to use in the bat. This wool has just been washed. It has not been carded or picked. So back to my story. After I got my spinning wheel, my drop spindle, my rabbits, and then shortly after that I got a big floor loom and started learning how to weave, and just enjoying all of it so much. I was definitely referring to the Wool and Fiber Arts Facebook group regularly to ask questions and just share my projects and successes, and everyone there is just very encouraging. I decided to make a business in 2021 because I wanted to be able to teach people how to spin, just the basics. Obviously, I was still somewhat of a beginner, but I felt like I could teach. No one in my area really spins. There's just like one or two people. And I wanted to be able to teach people lessons if they wanted it, which is something I did not have when I first learned. So I set up a business, and also, to be honest, one of the reasons I set up a business is because I wanted a drum carter. And if you've ever shopped for drum carders, you know they are very expensive. And I was like, well, if I get a drum carder, I need to have it pay for itself. So I started my business so that I could teach people and also so I could have a drum carder. But blending bats on a drum carder is so much fun. I really love every aspect of the fiber arts. There's always something interesting you could do, and it's never boring. Every task is so fascinating and satisfying. Drum carding is fun because if you have different colors, you get to play with blending colors, which has always been enjoyable for me in like art class and things. And not only do you get to blend colors, you also get to blend textures, which is not something I had really done before. Not much, not in the same way. And I just love playing around with textures and blending them. So the drum carder is really fun. And I actually have this really faint memory, probably about 10 years before all of this happened. I was just looking around on YouTube or something, I forget what I was doing, and I saw a video of someone blending different colors of wool on a drum carder. And I understood what they were doing, like I'd never seen it before, but I was like, oh okay, hand spinning, they're blending colors to hand spin yarn, that's cool. But just watching the colors blend together was very memorable to me. And as I was watching it, I was like, I think I would really like to do that. But at the time, there was no way. We did not have very much money. We were in grad school. So, not at that time. All right, I've got my black Corriedale all carded. So I get to take it off the drum carder and start making my bat. So one of the things that I do is I get fiber from small farmers. I especially love getting it from small local farmers in Louisiana or maybe Arkansas or Mississippi in my region. It is just, I take a lot of pride in personally selecting wool, cotton, mohair, other materials from fiber farmers, and it's just because I've been into like the slow food, local food movement for many years. It just makes sense to me, and I find it to be very fulfilling and enjoyable to make local food a part of my life. And once I got into fiber art, I was like, oh, you can do the same thing with textiles. A lot of our systems aren't in place anymore, like our mills and things, but just from a handmade perspective, you can make some things that are completely local. And that's the way it used to always be, you know. Obviously, people traded back and forth, but most of the fibers that you got were just grown in your area, maybe even by your own family. And now it's completely different. And I think, you know, mills and technology are amazing, but also we've lost a lot of our humanity, I think, in giving up that closeness to our textiles and where they're grown. We've also given up a lot of jobs in our local economy. Okay, back to my bat. What I'm adding to this black Corriedale is some naturally dyed orange silk noils. And silk noil is a waste product. It's basically just little tiny bits of silk. It's not like, it's pretty soft, but it's not like that super smooth, shiny silk that you think of. It's more like a little bit of tweed texture that you can add in. So I've got like a base layer of black and then these little flecks of orange tweed, and that is my pumpkin spice bat. It's very fun to spin. This black wool has a nice long staple length. It's very soft, it's very clean, and the tweed silk just sticks to it really well. It makes a really fun experience for spinning, and it also makes a really cool looking yarn that's really tweedy. And it's all naturally dyed, or just natural color, the black. So I make a lot of different bats for my shop, and I like to use fibers that are as local as possible, which means that I often have to process them myself. But again, I really love every part of the fiber art process. I love raising animals. I love growing plants. I'm growing some cotton and dyes this summer. It's mostly over now, but that has been really fun. You can check out my videos about my indigo. And my coreopsis. I grew a lot of coreopsis this summer too. I really enjoy every part of the process. So the growing, the washing of the fibers, whether it's scouring wool or washing, alpaca or llama or whatever it is. I enjoy doing that. I love taking something that's dirty and stinky and washing it, and it comes out all beautiful, clean, and soft. That's really satisfying. And I also love blending, which I'm doing on this video with all of my clean wool, blending things together to get new colors, new texture combinations. And to get those colors, obviously, I really like dyeing with the natural dyes. That is just a whole nother rabbit hole that is so fascinating. Natural dyes is one of my favorite parts. And then after blending, I also really like hand spinning, my first love really. And after creating the yarn, there's the making of finished products. So I've got my loom. I often will weave cloth on my loom to make things. I have been sewing since I was very young. So once I got my loom, or the reason I got my loom was basically I started hand spinning, and then I very quickly saw things about weaving and was like, oh, if I get a loom, I can weave my own cloth and then I can sew things with it. Because I've been sewing for so long and I love it. So I really enjoy weaving cloth to cut up and sew, and I'm hopefully going to have some videos on that in the coming month or two about sewing with hand-woven cloth. I also make little accessories like hand-spun yarn tassels and earrings, hand-woven shawls. I've got 2 right now that I'm going to list in the shop in a couple of weeks. And I've got a couple more in my to-do list that are all ready to go. I just need to weave them. I also really like wet felting. So one of my recent videos and blog tutorials is wet felting a rustic bag using Louisiana wool, and I'll link that below. Wet felting is really accessible for beginners because it doesn't take any expensive equipment like a loom or a drum carder or a spinning wheel. It just takes soap and water and a flat surface and the wool, and wet felting is really fun. And the cool thing about felting is that you can create 3-dimensional shapes. Unlike with weaving, it's just flat cloth. Oh, here's my finished bat. So that will be going in my shop soon. And then I had a mistake. I forgot to film myself making those Halloween Rolags. So those will be in the shop soon too, if they don't sell in my WAFA sale. And for my 3rd bat, I'm making another Halloween colors bat, but I just added pink to it. So it's going to have pink, orange, white, and black. And it's all this Corriedale wool from this one flock in Missouri. Very nice wool. So again, the first step is to card each individual color so it's all nice and smooth. When I'm dealing with raw wool, like start to finish, sometimes I do get some little nips and things, depending, like it just depends on the wool. And there is some in this Corriedale, in the colors, not so much in the black part. But, so if you are a person who needs very, very smooth wool to spin, you might not like my bats. They are always full of texture. They're usually pretty rustic. And that's honestly what I love about them. And I know a lot of other people do, but I always warn people, like, this is not mill prepped wool for the most part. This is wool that has a lot of character and texture. And so if that's not your cup of tea, I just want to warn people. I will say it's still enjoyable to spin. It's not like there's big mats and lumps and things in it. It's for the most part pretty smooth. It just has a lot of character. So I think it was in early 2023, I decided to join Wool and Fiber Arts as a business, a vendor rather. I submitted my application, I got accepted, and I did my first live sale. I was pretty scared. It's really scary going live in front of potentially thousands of people, although usually the number of people that view my sale is not that much. But there's that many people in the Facebook group, so it's a possibility. And I also was nervous, like, what if my products aren't good enough? Like, I had some imposter syndrome going on. But everyone was super nice. I made some money. Customers were happy. It was such a good experience. And because I want to make money with my business and, pay off my drum carder, I just kept doing it. And every time it got a little easier, and really quickly, I still get nervous before each sale, but mostly I just get excited because it feels like meeting up with my friends to do a show and tell. And yeah, it's a little different because I'm selling stuff, but it feels like a show and tell. I meet up with my friends and I'm like, hey guys, look at these bats I made. And I describe them, and if they want to buy them, they can. But I also include like little fun questions for people to answer, and I do a giveaway. And it's just like a fun hangout, kind of like with a guild where you show off what you have been working on. And obviously it's my sale, so I'm the only one talking. But people interact in the comments, and it's really fun. One thing I like about Wool and Fiber Arts is that there's a large number of farmers who are vendors. There's also dyers and a couple of woodworkers. But I would say, I don't really know, but I think that the majority of them are farmers. Fiber farmers. And I just think that's really special because most fiber festivals, not all, but most fiber festivals, there's like a lot more yarn dyers, which is totally awesome and fine. But Wool and Fiber Arts is special because it's mostly fiber for spinning. There is some yarn. And it's mostly farmers who are growing the fiber. Maybe they have it milled and then they dye it, or maybe they sell raw fleeces. And I just think it's really cool. And I know they have that in other fiber festivals, but I guess it's like the difference between a yarn festival and a sheep and wool festival, if that makes sense. Wool and Fiber Arts is much more a sheep and wool type festival than a yarn festival. And that's more what I'm interested in. There's a wide variety of fibers. It's not just wool. Obviously I do Angora, and I try to have cotton as well. I don't have a lot of cotton that I grow personally, but I have a friend who does. And I also always try and support the Acadiana Fiber Shed, which sells Acadian brown cotton. But there's all kinds of people. There's a llama and alpaca rescue, and they sell their fiber. There's lots of different sheep breeds, farmers, and a lot of rare breeds. So you can learn a lot just by listening to these farmers during their sales, and also by just joining the Facebook group. So here is my Halloween bat with pink. It's just something I wanted to try. I don't honestly know if I love it, but I think somebody will. It's kind of fun. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know, a bowl of candy or something. So I've got my four Corriedale colors: black, orange, pink, and white, all from the same flock. And I've got white silk noil to give it extra tweed texture. Because this has a lot of different colors in it, I think it would look best spun more bulky. If no one buys this and I spin it myself, I think I would spin it as a bulky single. Kind of maybe like a thick and thin one would be fun. Kind of like knit collages, yarns. I think that'd be really cool. But this will be for sale during my WAFA sale, which is this Saturday at 5 o'clock Central Time. And the way that you join is you just get on my Facebook page at that time, and you'll find the live video and you'll join in on the live video. It's a Facebook video, so it's just me talking and my camera. Nobody else has a camera or anything. They can only participate through comments. So it's not like a Zoom meeting, it's just me and my camera, if that makes sense. So just trying to explain what it's like. If in case anyone kind of is interested but is nervous, I totally understand that. Sometimes it's kind of scary to jump onto a live video because you're like, okay, what is this about? Like, what are people going to see? So it's really great. It's not going to be you being put on the spot or anything. The live sales can be kind of fast-paced because people are making purchases in the comments, and they're usually one-of-a-kind items, so sometimes more than one person wants the same item, but I just go by the timestamp that Facebook gives me. So that's how I try to do it. And I also, after the sale, I list everything in my shop, so you can just go straight to my shop and buy whatever's left over if you're not really the kind of person who wants to do a fast-paced buying things with the comments and all of that. So there's multiple ways to participate. You can also watch the sale after it's over, but it's more fun when it's live. And the more people that watch and comment on my video, the more Facebook kind of, the algorithm grabs onto it and shows it to more of my followers. So I always appreciate it when people show up, even if they are not planning to buy, just showing up and, sharing a nice comment. And you might win the giveaway. I always give away a $20 credit to my shop or to my sale every time. So this bat is now finished, and I think it looks pretty cute. Again, this is all naturally dyed. The orange is from the Coreopsis that I grew, and the pink is from cochineal. And the wool is all Corriedale from Missouri. Plus, it has the white silk noils. And there it is. Check it out at my live sale and in my shop. Thanks for watching and have a great day.